Hi, welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence, and today we're going to take a look at the Walmart exclusive GI Joe Retro Zartan. Now this is on the card back. This is supposed to be a more retro feel, or maybe it's a more cartoon feel. I'm not exactly sure. What I can tell you is that this is the third repaint of the exact same figure. So for $25, the question is this going to be worth it? Now, and we'll also post a link to the video that I did about how these ones were shipped. This one is not that bad, but we've been a lot of issues with these cards and how they are shipped from Hasbro Pulse. Not even from Walmart, from Hasbro Pulse. So anyway, if you want to watch that video, there'll be a link in the description so you can watch it. So let's just get into this figure. So quickly looking at it, I think it looks really nice on the outside. But is there going to be enough difference where if you already have the classified version and or you have the special edition or the Pulse exclusive, whatever, what SDCC, I forget what it is, the color changing one, is it worth your $25? Well, that's going to be for you to decide. This card stock, again, it's pretty flimsy, but it is decent. But when you look at like a Hasbro credit collection, it's way better, and that's what it should be. I also think it's way too big, and clearly it's too big because they cram it into a box when they ship it. On the back, you do have the file card, which I'm just not a fan of because it's 5 language. I know some people say, well, that's whining and crying, but really this gives you absolutely nothing. And it's giant. It could be shrunk down. It doesn't need to be this big. And the cross-sell really should be all the retro figures, including the Cobra Commander that's going to come with the His tank. Again, there's nothing wrong with putting a figure on the cross-sell that's going to be an exclusive that not everyone's going to have. So that's the back. Again, not a big fan of it. There's the figure. Let's open this up. But before we do, if you do like the content, take a second, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I do drop a GI Joe video. And as most of you know, I drop a lot of them. All right, so it's out of the box. You've been following along. From yesterday, you saw that I did the Storm Shadow Classified Retro. I've mentioned a few things that he definitely is a little bit softer. Some of the accessories are softer. Is that how this is going to go now? And that I'm not exactly sure of. So here we have the two other Zartans. This is the color changing right here that I knocked over because I have no sense of perception. The depth perception. And this is the classified version. Again, if you're able to get this one, again, it's an exclusive. If your choices come down to these two, well, this is really what you're going to be deciding on, in my opinion, if you don't want to spend the extra money on having every single figure that's come out. This is one of the backpacks. I'm not sure which one it goes to. I believe they were the same. Maybe there was a little difference. My stuff's all over the place right now. So let's quickly just take a look at some stuff here. So looking at the backpack, they do put some nice silver paint apps, and I have to say, it does kind of accent it. I like the way this looks on the outside a little bit better. We're going to open it up here, and you have these nice little red paint apps, like it's actually doing something. Again, they had originally talked about it that this is supposed to be made so it's like 3D printing a mask. And here it looks like it's like little vents or whatever. We're on the inside of this one here. There's some red paint on the side here. And then there's the red paint where it looks like the vents are at. So you can kind of mix and match however you want it to go. Again, not that big of a deal. I do like the silver paint app on here. It just gives a little bit more of an effect. It's the aesthetics just a little bit better. Trying to feel if it's any softer. This is definitely a softer plastic. There's no doubt about that. Just the feel of it. But when I try and bend this, I can tell that this one does not really have too much bend. This one, I don't need to put a lot of force, and I can see that it's starting to flex. Not in a bad way. It's not a bad way, so I'm not going to really complain about it. As for the masks here, clearly these are two different colors. And I'm looking at this, and I got this, in HD here. This one is a much lighter looking figure, which is going to match his skin color, where this one matches these ones over here. And again, I'd have to look and figure out which one goes to which. I think the masks were the exact same, but again, has like just the dead white eyes. You know, everything looks good with the paint, the mustache, the goatee, the eyebrows. Everything looks pretty good, so can't really complain too much about it. Doesn't really seem softer, but it's a little hard to tell. But I don't think that would really matter because this is going to mold around his face. So let's throw this one back in here so we don't lose this mask. Now, the one thing that he does not come with is he does not come with the snake head and the monkey paw. So if you really want these accessories, you're going to have to buy the classified version. These are the two things that he doesn't come with that came with this one over here. Now, grabbing his head cover here, whatever you want to call it, just feeling it out. It definitely does feel softer. But I will say this, when it comes to something like this, I don't really have a problem with it feeling a little bit softer. Maybe it will mold better, maybe it will stay on. You can see how when he fell over, this thing just comes right off. It literally just sits there. I'm not a big fan of how this one is molded. When you get it in the right spot, it looks really nice. He does come with the Cobra stand. Has, you know, an embossed, embroidered Cobra symbol. 2 pegs. It's not a bad stand. It's not too big. It's not too small. But again, I don't really like stands. As you can see, I have my figures just standing all around here. I don't use stands. Very few figures actually need stands if you know how to pose your figure. So that's probably just going to go in the drawer. All right. He comes with the same laser pistol. Now this is the same pistol or a very similar pistol that comes with the O-ring figure. And I can show you quickly here. So there's the O-ring figure. And there's the classified one. And again, I'll drop a link to this figure, the classified Zartan, at the end of the video. So those look the exact same. Well, I meant to show the backpack. So the backpacks here are the same. You have the handle that's going to open it up. It's got the slots that go across it. Still has the holes if this is where you want to put the monkey paws and different things like that. And then on the inside here, man, I thought I had the mask. I looked all over for this thing. That's probably what fell downstairs. I bet this thing fell. Anyway. The mask is the same. You can watch one of my other videos and you can see it. I do believe I have the mask. I heard something fall downstairs when I was looking for this. I couldn't figure out what it was. And my guess is it's going to be this. So even on this here, it always kind of had a little bit of stuff inside of it. Who knows what it was actually doing, but I'm going to put that to the side. And then we have his knife. Now his knife is extremely flimsy. Let's pop out this one here and see if... Alright, so this one is flimsy also. So I'd say maybe a little bit softer, but not that much. This one is, yeah, it is softer, but I will say this, even though it's very soft, it kind of keeps its form, which is kind of shocking. The bow and arrow with Storm Shadow did the exact same thing. Man, this thing is hard to pull out, so you don't have to worry about it falling out. This one is much stiffer. So the SDC color changing one has a much stiffer and a shinier blade. So there's one difference there. But this one here, it does have a regular looking color of a blade, which I do like. You got a port, put his trigger finger on, which you know a lot of knives have. It looks pretty nice. I mean, it's the exact same knife for the most part, just colored differently. But they do give it some nice little detail. I don't mind it being this soft if it stays and keeps its shape. The really rigid ones that come with like Valaverse or some of the stuff like Mythic Legions and the NECA stuff, it's too it's too pokey that it actually hurts when you're trying to mess around with it. So let's quickly take a look at Zartan here, and we'll start with the Jean-Claude Van Damme. He has the drop-down hips. I think we've already discussed my thoughts on drop-down hips. So he has the pinless, double-jointed knees, no problems there. He has the thigh swivel, your boot cut, ankle swivel. He has the double-jointed elbows. No problems there. Hands swivel back and forth, or his wrists. His T-pose, you're going to have a problem, per se, if you don't move this out of the way. Why is this one stuck here? Alright. So you get T-pose pretty easily. I thought this was in more. So you can move his shoulder, whatever it is, his shoulder guards, his shoulder pads up if you need to. He does have the ab crunch, waist swivel, look up and down, and he does come with his neckerchief, which they all come with the same neckerchief. And again, it definitely does feel a little bit softer. Now the softness really does worry me. So we're going to quickly look at him compared to the O-ring Zartan. We'll throw the hat on him. So he obviously has a chest piece the same, but this one is blue. I don't remember if the cartoon had it up. Matter of fact, we're going to look for it really quick. So this is how the cartoon looks. So I guess that's your decision if you think that it looks the same. I no longer have the thigh pads, but you have the thigh pads here, which were the same color as the chest piece. It does have the shoulder guards. It has the little ridges down the side. They gave him gauntlets, which he didn't have before, and he has the black gloves. The boots here, now he holds the knife over here on the OG one. This one they wanted to put it in the back on his belt, which technically he does have. I think it probably works better on the belt, and I like the fact that it's just kind of flimsy, so you can move it around there. But the paint is a little bit different here on these ones. And then when you look at the heads, he has the same type of paint around the eyes. The hood is completely different. I mean, it still does the same thing, but I do like this idea a little bit better than this. But if you're going to give us an OG one, you might as well have done something a little bit different. And then he has this kind of like ram or something kind of skull belt buckle. So we'll compare him to the classified version. And let's take off. I gotta say, this seems to fit actually a little bit tighter than, well, I think because it's softer, it hugs a little bit tighter than this one does. And or this one. So I do feel like it hugs maybe just a little bit tighter. So that might be a plus, definitely for sure there. But let's take this off for right now. So if we look at the figure here, sometimes you feel like you've gone over the same thing numerous times, which technically you have. So the face sculpt is the exact same. Color is a little bit different. They both have green eyes, but I would say that the one on the retro stands out way more. I actually like the blue color a little bit better than the dark and the silver that come with the SDC. Get them to stand up so I'm knocking them over so many times. But they do a good job of painting around. They made the shoulder guards a little bit different. Obviously, his vest is different. The belt looks the exact same. Then you have they're like a purple guard here. That's his thigh guards. His boots are black and gray on the new one where they're all black here. I like this more dark burgundy than the brown that's on the classified. So in my opinion, looking at these two figures, I actually like this one a little bit more, just the way that he looks. But you're also not going to get the monkey paw. But let's say you already have this one, you get all those accessories, you don't need to worry about it, you'd already have it. Or maybe you don't care about the monkey paw and the snake head. Then you throw that on. Again, I feel like this one actually sticks a little bit better, but maybe it's because of the neckerchief. So throw the neckerchief on. I think that really gets in the way. Yeah, I think it might be the neckerchief that really gets in the way of it. Now, when you fold it like that, I think it looks really nice. Let's take the mask. See how the mask fits on there. And now once you put the mask on, there's no way GI Joe, which is the elite of the elite, could figure out that this guy dressed exactly like Zartan could be Zartan. But then again, maybe they were looking for a Zartan that's this color, or maybe a Zartan that's this color. You just never know. So I put his knife in here. I think this looks pretty nice there. I'm going to take this off because frankly, I don't know about you, I never used the mask on the original O-ring version. To me, it was just like, why is that even there? Like, I'm 8 years old and I can figure out who that is. Now they also do have, then you drop it, just like that. And this did come off. So again, like I mentioned before, like it's the biggest issue with that is it comes off super easy. Probably getting some sticky tack, just throwing it on the top, probably would make my life way easier. So it does have holes here. It's just a port system, so you can port his weapon onto it if you need to. If you use other weapons, you buy, other accessories, or so many extra accessories that come with some of the classified figures, you can use for that. All right, let's just wrap this up because I think I've gone over another remake long enough for everyone to figure out. All right, so there you have it. That is the classified retro. It is the GI Joe Retro Zartan. These things are technically not classified. They're just classified scale. I would assume, is the carbonized, the Star Wars carbonized figures, are they considered the Black Series? I'm not sure. These don't really say classified anywhere. They are classified scale. They fit classified. So I don't know if they're really classified. They're not numbered. I would not consider them classified, to be honest, but it is another repaint. I will say this, I do like this color better. I actually think this looks better than all of them. I actually think the classified one looks better than the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, but this is the one that does color changing if you cool it down. But then as soon as it gets warm, it changes. Yeah, you can watch the video on that if you're interested. I'll drop links to both of those in the description. So anyway, if you are interested in this, you can probably, you'll be able to maybe get it off Walmart soon. Maybe Hasbro Pulse is going to drop them. I know they've come up again. I do like the way this one looks. If I had to choose between the two, I could only have one. I'd go with this one just because I think the color palette looks nicer. It definitely stands out. This one here is way more of a dirty, grimacing Zartan, in my opinion, which I don't have a problem with, but I do just kind of like the purple really just works with this, and I like the lighter skin tone, which kind of works considering he had an issue with the light. So anyway, but yeah, let's just we'll wrap this up. Again, I don't know how these work. I really like the silver. It just pops. Like when you're looking at it from the back, it just kind of pops. So anyway, there's not too much more to say. But before I leave, if you don't mind, jump on social media. A Punk with Toys on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. You also know Facebook group page, Punks with Toys. Most of you probably aren't listening this far. And if you are, God bless you. And last but not least, take a second, hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Always hit the like button. All the content creators that you enjoy. And hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I do drop another GI Joe video. I've actually gotten 2 out, kind of 3. Again, if you want to watch the issue with the shipping, that link will be in, or that description. A link to that video will be in the description. I'm going to get out of here because I'm just rambling. I worked out this morning. I'm going skateboarding in a minute. I'm out of here. I'm just exhausted. But don't go anywhere. If you're sitting around, you're watching stuff, here's a classified playlist, and right here is another Zartan video. You're going to enjoy it.